Well, I've got this Mercedes w123 230 1976 model. It's not a 230E, it's a 230. It's got a carby on it, or a side draft fuel metering device. Yeah, a nice little 4-cylinder car. Just going over it, seeing what it needs to get up to my standards. You know, full set of hoses, radiator flush, oil filter, some TLC, fix bullshit like that. That's vacuum booster hose. Only the headlights were working, just normal low beam, that was it. No tail lights. I had indicators and stoplights, but just nothing else at night. I had a look at the fuses. Let's see how many blown fuses I found in the fuse box. Let's count them together, and I'll focus on them. Somewhat focused, but let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's not blowing, but I took it out because it's been hot. That one's been hot, and that one's melted. But no wonder it had no interior lights, dash lights, tail lights, parker lights. And that one's for the heater fan. The cat's just sitting there. He was looking at the bonnet going, why is it up like that? I've got it in service position for the light. It's right above me. Bloody cold tonight. Got a nice heater there. Just to show how bad that little fuse is, there's a new one next to it. You can see it's melted right down. But that's a 5 amp, and where it was, it calls for a 16 amp if car is standard, or a 25 amp if it's got air conditioning. This car's got air conditioning. So they had a 5 amp fuse where it should be 25 amp. I think I'll remedy that. I think I've got one blue one around somewhere. I've got to stock up on these particular types of fuses. I've got lots of white and red, but not many of the other colours. So that's one that was in a... This is another one that was in the fuse box where an 8 amp should have been, and we put a 5. So I'm just sorting them all out. Well, there we go. That's the way it should all look. And there's one in there that I left in there. It should be smaller, but it runs tail, stoplights and everything. So I left the bigger one there. Now I took out the one for the sunroof because it doesn't have a sunroof. But yeah, now we see if everything works or not. Now they're all the fuses I have removed from the car. Most of them are fucked. Cool. Well, all the interior lights and exterior lights and high beams and fog lights all now work. So that's pretty good. Well, I was having a little look around on this old thing. Most of the hoses are original. As you can see, the coolant is leaching through them. And there's 3 hoses that you can't actually see because the air conditioning's there. They're underneath that compressor. It's like, I can't even really show you. You can sort of see one going down, and then the bottom hose connects underneath the compressor, and then there's another one that you probably wouldn't even notice. It's just like the 6-cylinder versions and the old ones. It just goes back for the heater, and they're all fucked underneath there. But to do that job, especially that one hose, it's a compressor off job. So I'm looking at it going, yeah, because obviously got R12 in it, still works. But I'm just wondering if I can move the compressor out of the way without degassing it. So I prefer to do that. I'll see how well the air conditioning actually works. If it works but not very well, well, might as well get it degassed. remove it, and then regas it with w123 or R12 if I can get my hands on it. But yeah, that's a interesting one, that is, because this compressor definitely has to come off to do the hoses, and the hoses definitely have to be done. So it feels like, one of them feels like jelly underneath there. I'll see if I can, I don't think I'll even get the camera under there to show you. But yeah, all coolant hoses need to be done. And as you can see, the coolant's not a pretty colour. Radiator cap's got rust on it. Who knows what the core looks like. Might need the reco radiator, or get it recoed. So yeah, I shall start it up soon, because it had a horrible noise when I drove it in. It sounded either like chain was about to spit, or the exhaust was vibrating like hell on something. So I've got to look at that. And I've got to properly delete the air injection system, because someone's removed the air pump, or the smog pump as people know them as, but they've left the rail there, cut the hose off, but haven't blanked it, and it's actually rusted at the back here. So I'm going to just try and blank it all off properly, because you don't want to have shit going in there, because that's all the exhaust ports and stuff, and you'll have exhaust leakage and whatever, it's a shit job. So yeah, a few things to do. Alright, start her up and see what that disgraceful noise was. Awful. Okay, that needs a little bit of work. All the belts are noisy, the exhaust is leaking, and one of the brackets is vibrating like a bitch. Oh well, I'll make it all happy again. But from what I can hear, the engine sounded okay. Not that I could really hear that. So I'll check over the fuel metering device, because that doesn't look like it's been serviced in a long time. It's got new leads on it. That's all I can really say. Being a Mercedes is probably the only reason it still works and hasn't died. But it does sound very fucked. But that's just all rattly shit and squeaky belts and exhaust leak. So, all simple stuff. Oh, and the brake fluid looks like pond water. But yeah, we'll get it right. Oh, that's not so good. Checking the air filter, and there's a bit of blow-by and whatever you'd expect in a car this age, but it's got the old, sound deadening material. It's supposed to go over there, and it's all crumbling, and it's all gone in obviously. And I've taken the top off the carby, and these work similar to a SU carby on a British car, like a Jaguar, with variable jet carby with a piston that goes up and down. We've got the top cover here, goes over this bit. That bit's supposed to be full of oil around there, but at the moment it's full of dirt. And then when you take this out, this is like the tops of the housing on an SU carby. and that's the damper for the piston. But as you see, it's all a bit messy. I'm going to have to wash all that out and do everything, and that's the return, an air bleed. And this little tube goes down in the damper, so it pumps oil in and out and picks up oil from around there, and there's a little clip that holds it on. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess, so I might even take the next layer off and have a look at how dirty it is in there. But I'd say it needs a full carby and throttle body clean, because it'll be all filthy if all that shit's gone through it. Well, there you go. If you want more detail on these carbies, just look that up. But yeah, I'll do a bit of video when I actually reco this. I'm just doing a inspection today, so I'm just going to put it all back together now and just make it work. But later on I'll make it all nice. But you can see no one's touched it in a very long time. So yeah, mechanics probably looked at it and went, "Eh, we don't know, it works," and just left it be. Which is probably the best thing for them to do, instead of fucking around with it and ruining it. Well, I'm just going over the underneath of the car. Haven't even got a wheel off yet. I've come across the bottom right hand ball joint has movement or up and down slop in it. They've done the front brake hoses, but obviously didn't do the brake fluid. About 8 months ago that was done, supposedly. Sway bar D bushes is stuffed. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a gap, and that will control how the car handles. If that's moving around, that actually holds that stable at the top, which holds the wheel stable. So if you hit the brakes, the wheel will go back, and it's all screwed. You'll see I did all this work on a Mercedes about 6 months ago. I did everything, ball joints, inner bushes, everything. Apart from that, all the shocks look good, all the steering linkages are good, so that's not too bad. Because yeah, the top ball joints have been done, so all those bushes on both sides, but just one lower ball joint stuffed. So I best just do that one, and yeah, everything gets noted. Now I can take a wheel off and check the brakes. The price tag just went up. Front pads are low because I'm getting a warning light on the dash, and I'll need discs, so I can just feel the dish in those, and there's a nice lip, so they'll be undersized, no point even measuring them. So I probably need wheel bearings then, because to do the discs you got to take all that off. I can't remember, I think the ball joint comes with the whole entire arm, so do that at the same time as the wheel bearings and the starbrakes. We'll do this, and might as well reco the calipers. If the brake fluid's really nasty and they've been low for a while, they'll probably leak after I put new pads in. So yeah, there's a bit of money just right there. But oh well, once it's done, this car will last another 20-30 years. Yeah. Well, it's got no rust, so I don't see why it can't last, as long as someone wants it to last. Oh, so cute. Cat's asleep in my washing basket. You making my old clean clothes nice and hairy, are you? Well, there's a good boy, trying to keep me extra warm.